Heidi Rosen had a vast, diverse, and largely successful career. She owes a great amount of her success to her incredible networking skills and the wide net of people she knew and relations she made. As described on page 2 of the article by Uzi and Dunlap, networks deliver three unique advantages. They provide private information, access to diverse skill sets, and power. This basically sums up the career of Heidi Rosen. She had so many friends, colleagues, and acquaintances in a variety of professions, and this allowed her to have a greater sphere of influence and persuasion in a larger professional arena than she would have had on her own. On page 4 of the article by Robert Cialdini, the art of persuasion allows for executives to be experts at securing consensus, cutting deals, and winning concessions. Rosen definitely excelled at the art of persuasion. One example of this can be seen by Heidi's ability to persuade Bill Campbell of Intuit to stay with Apple during the tough time that Apple was having in the 1990s. Although Apple was having a tough time and some people were thinking of leaving Apple and supporting other companies, Heidi was able to persuade many of those people to keep their faith with Apple and stay with the company. Her passion for the company and her reputation within her network allowed her to have a greater amount of influence over her network and eventually kept them with the company as opposed to leaving the company. On page 25 of Give and Take, Adam Grant continues to shed light on how successful Heidi was in her networking skills by explaining that an analysis of influence can shed light on novel strategies for presenting, selling, persuading, and negotiating, all in the spirit of convincing others to support our ideas and interests. Heidi was certainly a master of persuasion and influence. She had such a large network and such impressive influence over others that she was able to bring together many people and provide excellent jobs and opportunities for advancement for the people in her network that she liked and believed in. For example, on pages 6 and 7 of the case study, we learned that Rosen was able to help two of her friends, Brian Gentile and Ellen Levy, acquire excellent positions at two companies that Rosen had established ties with. These companies hired the people that Rosen recommended because of how much they believed in her and her ability to distinguish character and talent. Heidi would definitely be described as a giver if she were to take Grant's assessment quiz. According to his book and video, the most successful people are those that give when they need to, but also know how to use their time and influence to both better themselves and others. Clearly, Heidi was not a doormat that people could walk all over, nor was she a harsh figure that people were afraid to ask advice or recommendations from. She was wise in her decision-making, excellent in her judgment of character, and persistent in her quest for success and excellence. Heidi's networking skills were clearly second to none, but one of the factors that made her network so vast and diverse was that she did not always take the most straightforward approach in regards to networking. According to the case study, one of Heidi's most successful means of networking were the various parties that she and her husband held at their house. By opening her doors up to such a wide variety of people from such varied backgrounds, allowed Heidi to meet people that she might not have been able to otherwise, and put people in touch with other people that she might not have had the opportunity to without having such parties. The article continued by examining how Heidi loved to network and meet people. She would do so in such places as the health club, school, or even while out and about on a jog. On page 4 of Uzi and Dunlap's article, they introduce the idea of the self-similarity principle in regards to the network of people that we know and have around us. According to this principle, the majority of us have created a network of people that have similar experience, worldview, training, and so on. The authors continue their article by discussing the proximity principle, which means that most people build their network based on the people that they spend the most time with and have the closest bonds with. While neither of these are necessarily bad things, they're not the most effective forms of network building. As can be seen from the case study, Heidi in no way adhered to either one of these models for networking. She had friends and colleagues that she could call on from all sorts of backgrounds, working in a variety of professions, and some of these people she hadn't even seen for years. Heidi's network was so diverse and massive that she had a reference or a recommendation for almost any person of any background in any profession. One of the last lines of Grant's book perfectly summarizes the character and personality, morals, and values that can be seen from the case study of Heidi Rosen. Grant states on page 259, "By shifting ever so slightly in the giver direction, we might find our waking hours marked by greater success, richer meaning, and more lasting impact." I believe that this perfectly summarizes the article about Heidi Rosen. She was a giver who made such a huge impact on so many lives that it is almost unbelievable and indescribable. She is a model that I aspire to be similar to in my professional life, and I believe that her story can help shape and mold more people into better businessmen and businesswomen. Thank you.